So I'm going to write my letter to Pete to explain to him why it was not a good idea to tidy the wood and to cut down all the trees, so that there obviously was a lot of rain, and then the trees weren't there to soak up the rain, so there was a lot of mud. I'm going to write him a letter explaining my frustration with him that he did this. So to start my letter off, I obviously need to write who my letter is to. So my letter is to Pete. So I'm going to write to Pete. Now we must remember that Pete is his name, so it needs to have a capital letter at the beginning of it. I'm going to put a little comma here. I'm going to start off my letter with a question. And the question I'm going to start with is, why did you tidy the forest? It's my capital letter for the beginning of my sentence. My finger space. Why did you tidy the forest? And what do I need to end my question with? Well done, a question mark. Why did you tidy the forest? Then I'm going to go on in my letter to explain to him why tidying the forest was probably not the best idea that he's had. But I understand that sometimes it's a little bit frustrating when things are messy. So I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to let him know that I understand why he wants things tidy. And I'm going to use the word but. So I'm going to say, I understand you like things to be tidy, but, so there's my conjunction. So what type of sentence do you think I'm about to write? That's it, well done, a compound sentence. So here's my first sentence. I understand you like things to be tidy, but you did not have to go as far as you did. And that's my compound sentence. I understand you like things to be tidy, but you did not have to go as far as you did. I'm going to tell him now why it wasn't a good idea that he tidied the forest. I'm going to start my sentence with the word because. Because you dug up the trees, the rainwater could not be sucked away. Because obviously trees are very important in our ecosystem. They suck up all the rainwater. And so without the trees, it meant that it flooded. Because you dug up the trees, the rainwater could... Oh, now, because I've read my work back, I've realised I've missed out a word. See if you can spot it. Because you dug up the trees, the rainwater could be sucked away. I'm going to finish my sentence and then I want you to have a little think. Which word am I missing? Well done, I'm missing the word not. Because you dug up the trees, the rainwater could not be sucked away. That's why it's so important that we always read our work back to ourselves to check. And because I've missed a line in between my writing, it means that I can very neatly just pop that in there. So because you dug up the trees, the rainwater could not be sucked away. Also, so that means I'm going to say something else about this subject. the trees and the leaves on the floor provide, what do you think I'm going to say? What do the trees and the leaves on the floor provide? Yeah, they provide homes for a lot of animals. You can probably hear Cheeky in the background. I'm just running around my house going absolutely crazy. So also the trees and the leaves on the floor provide homes for a lot of animals. Okay, so just have a little think about that. Who lives in all the leaves on the floor, do you think? Who makes their homes out of the leaves? And now I'm going to use a comma in a list. So year twos, you learnt about this in our last unit of work. So I'd like to see in your letter if you can do the same, if you can use a comma in a list. So I've written, also the trees and the leaves on the floor provide homes for a lot of animals. Hedgehogs, comma, they live in the leaves. Hedgehogs, beetles. So I've got comma, and then this, I'm going to write one more animal. So what do I need to put between the last item on my list and the word beetles? Yeah, well done. I need to put the word and. So hedgehogs, beetles, and spiders use the leaves for shelter. Now I'm going to ask him another question, because in the book he couldn't go back to his home because of the concrete. So that meant that he took his home away from himself. So how do you think these animals feel that he took their home away too? So I'm going to ask him that. How did you feel when you could not access your home? So I'm going to just leave that. That's going to be my last part of my letter, for him to really think about how he felt when he couldn't get into his home. And that's how he's made all these other animals feel. I'm going to finish off my letter with a sign off. So when we write a letter, we always put a little sign off at the end. We also do this when we write an email as well. So my sign off is going to be yours sincerely, Miss Davies. Oh, I've got to dot my I. Okay. Can't wait to see all your letters on Seesaw. Make sure you read it back when you have finished to check for any mistakes.